In our scripture passage for today, we read the story of wise men from the East coming to see Jesus. But sometimes we read even these well-known passages and wonder what it means for us today. So, in order to do that, let's use our imaginations just a little bit. For example, let's imagine them in clothes worn today. And consider the gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Most of them you have never seen in real life, but they were the nicest gifts they could bring. They were gifts fit for a king. So just imagine the nicest gifts that you could give. Now, the wise men got to Jerusalem by following a star. But I'm guessing most of you use something like this to help you with directions. It's not exactly the same since that star was out of the ordinary, but the point of the star was that God was using what they knew and were familiar with to make sure that they got to where they needed to be. Speaking of getting to where you need to be, you don't see people riding camels too often. So instead, let's imagine them in a more common form of transportation these days. Which is nice because we can get to our destination a lot faster this way. But even with these changes, we still might not know why this is so important for us today. No one would have thought the wise men belonged here in the presence of Christ. The wise men may have even asked themselves what they were doing here. They were outsiders. They didn't know anyone, and maybe they were not even welcome. They did not even follow God's commands in the Bible. And there are a lot of people today who feel that way about going to church. They don't feel like they belong, so they don't go. But God does surprising things to get exactly these kinds of people to Christ. And the wise men, despite all the reasons not to, follow God's leading to meet the new king. And that's the point for us today. We can enjoy the star, the camels, the wise men, and the gold, frankincense, and myrrh. But let us also realize that what this story meant for the wise men means the same for us today. No matter who you are, God is leading everyone to his Son. And no matter where you are, you belong here in the presence of Christ the Lord. And I hope that helps us to understand this scripture passage just a little bit better. Goodbye, everyone.